That pretty well covers the state, I would have thought.
When you get a chance to be on the big stage in the city, absolutely you'll bust a gut to be here. They're coming round back to the front straight, folks, here at the Motorplex. One more time to put your hands together for them. They're soaking it up as much as they can, and with good reason too.
So Peter Dowie's had almost the perfect weekend. Can he cap it off with a feature race win? Hayden Norman, a former state champion, is on his outside. We are green in the final race of the night, and Hayden Norman gets the best of the dispatch, and Ben Norman comes up on the outside of Peter Dowie. On the inside, we've got an Iowa now in the 10 and another Iowa now in the 4 on the outside of him as well. As that Blake Iowa now in the 4 is the one that's gone right round the outside as they come out of Mobile 1 to complete lap number 1. Got trouble mid-pack. Daniel Amaturi in the 83 has gone sideways. Another car has slammed into the back. They've all kept on going. The race continues. That's what happens. Back it's Hayden Norman who leads. Blake Iowa now in second place. Ben Norman is third. They've skipped away a wee bit from Peter Dowie. He's got some work to do. Great move here by Blake Iowa now to slide underneath of Hayden Norman, and he takes the lead after lap number 2.
He made it mildly aggressive there, did Blake Iowa now, but with good reason, as he sneaks his way in front momentarily. Then Hayden Norman, though, going to try and fight back on the outside as they go down the 92.9 Triple M back straight. We've got a car that is spun at turns 1 and 2. It is pointing in the wrong direction, and it's brought the yellow lights on. So get to have a bit of a breather with Blake Iowa now and Hayden Norman having a fair old battle, and it's the 15 car of Daniel Flavel who is going to have to come in. So Flav is out. Get back to green lights racing. Hayden Norman and Ben Norman, 1 and 2 on the restart. Blake Iowa now up high on the track. And the rest of them look like they've gotten through sort of cleanly at the moment. As Ben Norman being put under pressure by Blake Iowa now, who tries to go underneath, and they're going 4-5 wide out of Mobile 1, turn number 4. It is busy, busy, busy. Hayden Norman, though, is your race leader. Ben Norman just ahead of Blake Iowa now. Look at all these masses of cars as Damon Lyle is indeed making a bit of a charge. Peter Dowie is trying to hold them all off. And underneath, Jack Favreau has made up some ground. He's up into the top 4. Look at Damon Lyle putting on the sparks and taking out.
Well, he's up over the outside of Dowie. It's like he can't get off the fence. He basically got into the fence here on, and I'm talking about Dow now. He's up in, Lyle is in 6th position as we've got a couple that are going back through the pack. But meantime, he's shot the Cooper's Hayden Norman, and he's been where he's been.
Hayden Norman is getting further in front. The back bumper is getting further and further away from the second place car of Ben Norman. Here comes Damon Lyle now, dives to the inside and takes 3rd place away from the 4 of Blake Iowa now, who fights back and takes it back.
Yeah, good work from Blake Iowa now to fight his way back. This is a battle that I feel like is going to keep going for a couple of laps or so. Blake Iowa now moves himself back up into 3rd, and while that happens, it allows the 88 of Peter Dowie and the 2 car of Shane Wilde just to get a little bit closer. While our race leader Hayden Norman has stretched this lead out to 2.5 seconds now on Ben Norman. Another car has come out of the race, so there's a few of them that are unfortunately not making it to the finish line. The battle 3rd and 4th continues to rage as Damon Lyle goes up on the inside of Blake Iowa now, sneaks his way into 3rd spot for the time being on the crossover out of Mobile 1, turn number 4. He keeps 3rd spot.
So Nathan Remfrey was the car that parked on the previous lap, the black car on the infield. But how's this race for 2nd place right now? Norman Lyle Iowa now, and still Dowie not place.
He's been watching too much of Kyle Larson at the shootout, running straight off the wall. He's dived into 2nd place as they move out of turn number 2, and now Ben Norman goes back to 2nd place. Lyle right up against the concrete. He now might dive to the inside. McCauley is a lap car. He might be in the way. He'll be shunted out of the way if he's not careful, but Ben Norman's back in 2nd place. Dowie comes up on the outside of Blake Iowa now for 4th place. Hayden Norman's lead is still 2.3 seconds. Back to Ben Norman in second. The 27 of Damon Lyle is third. And Dowie now in fourth, ahead of Blake Iwanow and Shane Wild for Manjimup. Again, Lyle bounces off the concrete. Might have done it one too many times and spins himself out and is going to stop the car, which is going to bring on the yellows.
Ben Norman, Peter Dowie and Blake Iwanow, your top four as the green lights come back on. How will this one wrap up? It is Hayden Norman being sent by Ben Norman on the inside, and Peter Dowie's getting close. The Dowie diehards up ahead will be getting their lips just licked away, while Blake Iwanow, he's starting to get involved as well. He moves into third spot. That sounded more like Skippy than anything else, didn't it? Peter Dowie, Blake Iwanow side by side down the Opal Finance front straight. You can tell it's late because we're getting a little delirious in the commentary box. Hayden Norman's skipped away a little bit from Ben Norman. Peter Dowie's holding everybody else up with Cody Avens and Blake Iwanow trying to get their way past. Blake Iwanow swings up on the inside. Peter Dowie tries to swing back and stays in third.
So it is a great duel for third place right now between those three cars, because Cody Avens is up there as well, and we've seen him run into a little bit of bother back in earlier action today. But it's the two Normans out in front, and they're going to come. Is it going to be Hayden? Is it going to be Ben? That's the big question, because there's only a couple of car lengths between them. Dowie maybe has got the advantage slightly now. He's gotten away from Iwanow, Avens, Matthew Iwanow and 11's also just in behind that big line of cars. Shane Wild's gone back a spot. Peter Herbert moves up. So there you go. They're all the group of chasers, but it is the two Normans, and they're going to have 2 laps to go as they come out of the main straight, and Jason Crow to bring them home.
So it is Hayden Norman from Ben Norman. It's going to be one of the Normans who takes out the feature race. Back in third, it's Peter Dowie, then Blake Iwanow and Cody Avens. There's the margin first to second. Next time around, they'll see the white lights here at the Motorplex, and Ben Norman will have 1 lap to try and pass Hayden as they come out of Oval 1 for the second last time in the ODH Mechanical Street Stock feature race. He's close enough to put a slider on in the last lap. It's Ben Norman chasing down Hayden Norman. Hayden Norman's gone half track high. Back in third, it's Peter Dowie riding the wall, and back in fourth is Iwanow. Iwanow all over the back end of Dowie as Ben Norman comes up on the back end of Hayden Norman, but Hayden Norman's done enough. Hayden Norman defeats Ben Norman. Third across the line is a photo finish, and Peter Dowie gets there. Fourth is Blake Iwanow, then Cody Avens. Then further back after that, Shane Wild and Matthew Iwanow, Matt Hammond. Peter Herbert back in the 44, and Cade Munro.